are live at 11:05 on BC with Spirit Cars, and Josh, the guy that just had technical difficulties getting his phone into the contraption with the little speaker and all that. But anyway, Josh, the voice of Spirit Cars, is under control. Do we see your hand? Wave your hand down a little bit. We'll see that. There you go. Yeah, he's still adjusting, but we're here. We're here. Yesterday I said I was going to stay focused on one project at a time till I get it done. Well, that's easier said than done. I've been doing a lot of different things, but I did make progress, and I've been waiting on you to get here. So now that you're here, let's show them how to snap this fuse block in here.
Okay.
You want to go from that side to this side?
Here we go. Got it now. All better.
Okay. So I said how easy it is. Now we'll see if I was kidding or not. So what I've done is, you can see I've got the wires stuffed in here. I should have put a light in here for you to see, but you can see the wires come down. See that?
Sort of.
And they come down the other side. I've got a piece of wood behind here, and that's going to stiffen it up for my gas pedal, and this little bracket here that holds the fuse block in. It's already secured. So I'm good to go there. And I like to put it so that it's the right direction. There's a panel that goes on top of this. That way when you snap it on, you can read it right side up instead of upside down. When I did my wiring, I bench built all this. There was a couple things like a heater and things like that, the wires I didn't need. I just snipped them out of the back of the fuse block. That way I don't have them extra wires running around. This car is not going to have running lights. It's going to have turn signals in the front. So I left those wires come down, and I put them in there just in case the customer decides sometime in the future that he does want to run that. So anything you think you might use, don't cut it out, but stuff you know you won't use. This car won't have wipers, so we didn't need to have the wipers and things like that. So I come across here. Just kind of line it up to where it goes. Snap it in. I can run these up here now. Now this is what makes it real easy. These will come around. This here is going to come up here. I'm going to hide it up under here. This is for your dimmer switch. And you'll just, by your hand, you can put the dimmer on and off. It's a lot better than putting it on the floor. There's not a lot of floor room on here anyway. This will plug into your column. So once the column's in there, it just plugs in. You'll have your turn signals, your horn button and everything.
That's for a GM column.
For GM column. All my gauges will be right there. I got my hole cut. I got a cover somewhere for it. I got a hole cut for my ignition switch. My headlights are here. Goes over on this side. Now I've got all my gauges are pre-done here, and they come out in two different looms. So what's going to happen when I put my gauges up here? It'll be real easy for the first one. Will be, I'd have to read what they are, but this one's going to be the oil sending. So my oil sending wires are going to come right out here. I can take all my wires now, go ahead and hook them to my gauge and put my gauge in. Then I've got the 3 wires that I have left. A pink wire, that would be a fuel sending unit. So here's my wires for the fuel sending unit. I can hook that up. On this particular one, we're using a mechanical speedometer and odometer. We do have electronic ones also. It's a little bit different, but we'll have to run the cable down. Same over here. Now these set of wires will come up on this side. Just 2. That would be your voltmeter, and then we'll have whatever's left, the oil temperature, water temperature. Then we have the 3 wires left for your turn signals. We have a high beam, low beam indicator, and your left and right turn signal. What we'll do is we'll put those in here. We got some cute little ones. I don't have the holes drilled yet, but we'll have those put in there. So gauges are much easier if all this is pre-wired on the bench before you even come up here and put it in the car. Otherwise, you'd be under this car and you'd be doing all this on your back, and when you get old, it's not as easy as it was when you were 20. So, not a big deal. At this point, I should be able to put my gauges in, and under an hour, I'll have all my gauges in. Yesterday, we talked about running the headlights, and I had a couple different looms. You can see on this side here, Josh. I've got this set of wires coming out. What we're going to have here is this will be a starter wire. This will go to your this powers the fuse block. This will go to the starter. And we've got oil pressure and water pressure or water temperature. So this will all come out this side. On this side, I've got things like my horn, the fan wire, and choke, electric choke is over here. So these are coming run down along the side of the frame. What I did, I drilled a couple holes in the top of the frame over here, and then I just took, we showed it yesterday, I had a big long welding wire. I just ran out of the MIG welder and stuffed it down the frame, had it come up here. So I've got my 3 wires now, and we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna have a turn signal. So I've got a high beam, low beam for the headlights, and then a turn signal. I was going to go get one of them headlights. These are regular steel beams here, but we offer a really nice. Do we still have those for a deal? Man, we used to have hundreds of them.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. And but it's got a little. It's an LED turn signal light. So we'll switch this out and put that LED turn signal light, and your turn signal will be right on the bottom of your headlight, at least for this particular one. Kind of where I'm at now is, and we got to get a sensor for the water temperature and oil pressure. So we'll determine where we want to put those on the motor. There's several different places that you can put that. So pick a place that's convenient, that gives you a good reading, and that you can get to access pretty easily. And actually, I don't like it to be in your face, so if I can get it hidden somewhat, I'll do that too. I think what we'll do, this is a dolphin kit here, dolphin shark. We'll just do like that whole product review thing. And we like these gauges. They're a little bit, I'm going to say they're not near as expensive as, say, an Autometer or some of the Stuart Warner gauge or something, but we haven't had quality issues with them. The only thing, if you use the electronic odometer, the way they tell you to set it, you go a mile and you do this and you push the buttons and you back and forth, and it hardly ever works, and it's a real pain in the butt. What you're doing is you're setting the frequency. So if you happen to get that one, read the book. The book tells you all this, how to push the button to get it to the frequency. And most every phone, I think your phone, you usually ride with me when we do it. My phone, if I figured out how to use it, probably has a GPS. And you can drive down the road and you don't even need a speedometer. You could use your phone as your speedometer. So what we'll do is we'll go down the road, and if my phone is saying I'm going 55 and my speedo says I'm going 65, I just change the frequency, and I just up or down the frequency to match until it's calibrated right. And that's the easiest way to do it. So if you happen to be using the electronic one, which I like, that is the only issue I've really found with these, is do it that way instead of the way they tell you to do it. That's just my opinion, but I like the way I do it, and that's how I'm going to do it. These come with the kit. You have all your brackets to hold the pieces in, all come with the kit. You got a little hardware here for putting your oil filter. Now, the one thing that they had, the tack for a while was an LED light in it, and it was a different type of light than the other ones. I think they've fixed that though, haven't they?
I don't know if they have or haven't.
I'm sure, because we had an issue with it, and now I don't think it's like that anymore because we don't have that issue. But one of the lights was, when you put the lights on, it was a little bit brighter on it, and it wasn't good. So I think they've taken care of that. It was a tack that was different. Now the tack just plugs in, you know, no issues for your light, that is. And if you use the 4-gauge or the 3-gauge package, there'll be a gauge that has all the fuel and the oil and all that into one gauge, and that just plugs in. That's pretty nice on one plug. The back of the lights on these, you've actually got a wire separate, and you can see that it just plugs into the hole, and you'll have a positive and a negative there. I just use the ground off of all of the gauges themselves and have my wire for the lights come up under there. It comes with your sending unit for the gas tank. I think we'll make a program out of just putting this into your gas tank. We'll make the gas tank for this one, but it's got to be cut down and bent and everything. It's so that your gauge reads when it's empty, and when it's full, and you don't, you know how sometimes on a car you fill it up full of gas and it'll only go to a half tank. That's all based on how this is bent and how this travels up and down and where this is placed. So we'll go over that when we put a tank in. Josh and I, we went over things this morning. What does it need? What's left? We're down kind of to the end of it. I'm going to put my gauges in today. I was trimming up underneath. I got to get an oil trans cooler fit up in there. The customer, Randy. This is Randy, right?
No, Kevin.
Kevin. This is Kevin's car. Does Kevin watch? Kevin, if you're there, say hi. And matter of fact, it's a good time to talk about this. We were kind of analyzing what do people watch. And it's kind of strange. It's not the ones that get the most views. Sometimes we've got a couple videos out there that have thousands, tens of thousands of views. But some of the ones that are watched the most don't have as many views. So I was looking at those that are watched the most, and you know, what do I do to suck you in? We want you to watch it past. If you're this far into it, you're probably going to watch the end, and you probably already know this is coming up before too long. And we're kind of an intimate little group. Matter of fact, can you read what they're saying right now?
Mm-mm.
Not on your phone. You can't see.
Mm-mm.
So how do we get that technology?
Well, no, that's Facebook. You'd have to have a computer sitting here.
So we need a computer sitting there.
Yep.
Well, we're kind of an intimate group here. So, as a matter of fact, I'm moving in close. This is how intimate we are. So there'll be probably maybe 1,000 people will watch this little thing that we're doing here.